world that has no idea how close it is to losing everything. People on Earth are going through normal days. Some are opening small shops in busy streets. Some are stuck in traffic. Some are scrolling through their phones. And some are simply enjoying the sunlight coming through their windows. Nobody expects anything strange to happen. The sky looks normal. The air feels normal. And the world behaves as if tomorrow will be the same as today. Humanity is calm, relaxed, unaware of the storm quietly forming far beyond the sky, but far above Earth. In the deep, cold darkness of space, the galaxy has already made a decision that will soon crash into every human life. Dozens of alien species races. Humans have never even heard of sit in floating halls that circle distant stars. These halls are enormous structures, big enough to hold entire cities inside, and filled with beings that live in different atmospheres, shapes, and colors. Some breathe through gills, some talk through vibrations, and some communicate only through glowing patterns appearing and disappearing along their bodies. But even with all their differences, one thing unites them on this day: a belief that Earth must never be allowed to stand on its own again. The vote lasts only minutes. Holograms shimmer, lights blink, and representatives raise whatever their version of a hand is. When the final count appears, the result shocks even some of the worlds that supported the decision. Every major species, from the ones with ancient empires to the newer ones struggling to survive, stands together behind one order. Earth must be enslaved for the safety of the galaxy. The galaxy believes humans are too unpredictable, too emotional, too fast-growing. Some species argue that humans advance too quickly in science. Others fear the way humans unite when threatened. A few even admit that humans scare them because humans do not give up, no matter how bad the situation gets. To these species, humanity feels like a storm small at first, but powerful if allowed to grow. So they choose the simplest answer: control Earth before Earth becomes a problem. They call it peaceful containment. They call it a non-violent transition. But everyone in that hall knows what it really is. Earth is about to lose its freedom, its identity, and its future. Humans will become workers, servants, and subjects in a galaxy that sees them as nothing more than a resource. When the decision is announced, the message is sent through secure channels directly toward Earth. It travels through space like a silent arrow, passing stars, dust clouds, and abandoned stations. Hours later, the message reaches the solar system. It hits Earth's communication networks with a soft electronic chime, as if it were a simple notification. But it is not simple. It is the moment everything changes. Inside Earth's main communication command center, a small team receives the transmission. They read the words once, then twice, unable to understand how such a massive decision could be delivered so quietly, so casually, like a business email containing meeting notes. The message clearly states that humanity will be placed under full galactic supervision. There will be no negotiation, no argument, no appeal. Humans will be redistributed according to labor needs. Earth's resources will be divided among the species that voted, and the process will begin as soon as alien enforcement fleets arrive. For a long moment, the team members stare at one another. Nobody speaks. Nobody breathes. They repeat the message to confirm it isn't a mistake. But it is real. Within hours, every government on Earth is alerted. Leaders gather in emergency meetings. Security councils lock down. Intelligence agencies cross-check every piece of data. Some officials at first think it might be a misunderstanding, a threat, or a trick. But the more they analyze the message, the more they realize the truth. The galaxy has already decided humanity's future, without even giving humans a chance to defend themselves. When the public eventually learns what has happened, the reaction spreads like a wave rolling across continents. People feel shock first, then anger, then fear. Not fear of aliens themselves. Most humans have never seen them. But fear of losing control over their lives, their homes, their children's futures. Streets grow quiet, not from panic, but from a heavy, deep confusion. How could entire species far away think they have the right to own Earth? How could so many powerful civilizations unite against humans, even though humanity has never attacked anyone? Across cities, strangers gather in cafes, shops, and parks, speaking softly, trying to understand. Many wonder if the galaxy sees humans as dangerous because humans are different. Some think the aliens misunderstand human nature. Others suspect jealousy because humans learn fast, adapt fast, and grow fast. Whatever the real reason, it does not matter now. The decision is made. The galaxy thinks Earth will bow its head and follow the order. They think humans will simply accept their fate. They think Earth is too small, too young, and too alone to resist powers that have accumulated strength for thousands of years. But Earth has not responded yet. The galaxy mistakes this silence for fear. They think humans are frozen, confused, or too weak to argue. Alien leaders even congratulate one another, confident the transition will be smooth. Many species send messages to their own people, telling them that a new era of peace is about to begin, an era where humans will no longer be unpredictable or chaotic. What they do not realize is that Earth stays silent on purpose. Behind closed doors, Earth's leaders speak with a clarity and calmness that shocks even themselves. They know the galaxy expects panic, but panic is exactly what they refuse to show. Instead, they choose strategy. They choose preparation. They choose unity. For the first time in human history, every major nation, every political rival, every distant island and territory looks past its differences. The threat is not against one country. It is against humanity itself. So Earth responds in the most unexpected way. It shuts down. All long-range broadcasts go dark. All beacons, communication relays, and diplomatic channels close. To the galaxy, it looks like silence. To humans, it is the first step of something bigger. Something the galaxy never expected. Something humanity has not done in centuries come together with one purpose. As alien observers monitor Earth, they grow uneasy. Reports show that humans have not attempted resistance, but also have not shown surrender. The planet appears too calm, too quiet, too united. The Galactic Council keeps waiting for a sign of acceptance, but none comes. Instead, humanity becomes harder to read, harder to predict, and far harder to control. Even among the species that voted for Earth's enslavement, whispers begin to spread. A few representatives privately admit that silence from a species, known for emotional reactions, is far more alarming than open anger. If humans were shouting or threatening, the galaxy would feel safer. But this silence feels like deep water, dark, still, hiding something enormous beneath the surface. And still, Earth says nothing. Families across Earth begin preparing in their own ways. Parents hold their children tighter. Workers talk quietly during lunch breaks. Students gather in circles, anxious about what comes next. Some people look up at the sky at night, wondering where the alien fleets are, wondering how big they might be, wondering if they will see them arrive. The planet feels heavier, but it also feels more connected. Every person senses that something historic is happening, even if they cannot yet see it. The alien delegation appointed to manage Earth's transition prepares to travel toward the planet. They believe this mission will be simple, one of the easiest in their careers. They imagine humans standing in long lines, ready to obey. They imagine quiet cities, empty skies, and a population too frightened to resist. They do not realize that humanity is not afraid. Humanity is calculating. Humanity is watching. Humanity is choosing the moment to speak. And the galaxy has no idea what that silence truly means. This is the moment before everything changes. The moment before Earth finally responds. The moment the galaxy unknowingly steps into a storm it created, but does not understand. Part 1 ends here, but humanity's answer is coming, and it will shake the galaxy forever. The quiet that falls over Earth after the galactic decree. The whole planet is holding its breath, but it is not helpless. People wake up each morning, pretending to live normally, but inside they feel something heavy, something cold. They know alien ships are coming. They know the galaxy expects humans to bow their heads. Yet no one wants to speak the fear out loud. Families eat breakfast together without talking much. Workers commute in silence. Even the birds seem quieter, as if the whole world is preparing for a moment they cannot fully imagine. And somewhere far above Earth, the alien delegation begins its journey toward the blue planet. Their ship is smooth, silver, and shaped like a crescent blade gliding through space. They believe this trip is simple. They are traveling to oversee Earth's transition, a word they use to make the situation sound gentle, even though it is far from gentle. Inside the ship, the delegates discuss Earth's behavior. One says humans will probably protest, but will eventually accept reality. Another claims humans always adapt to new conditions, so this will not be any different. A third delegate argues that once humans understand alien power, they will stop resisting. They speak with confidence, but they do not understand the species they are about to face. Humans do adapt, yes, but not in the way the galaxy thinks. Humans adapt through strength, unity, and stubborn will. They do not accept chains. They remove them. Back on Earth, the world's governments meet again and again behind closed doors. The leaders are tired, but not broken. They have spent hours reviewing the alien decree, and still, no one can believe how casually the galaxy decided humanity's future. Some leaders pace back and forth, some sit still with their hands folded, and some stare at the floor while listening carefully. The question everyone asks is the same. How will Earth respond when the alien delegation arrives? There are no easy answers. Some officials suggest trying diplomacy, hoping maybe the aliens will listen. Others argue that diplomacy has already ended the moment the galaxy voted to enslave Earth. A few fear that any wrong move could provoke a full invasion. But one thing is clear to everyone inside those tense rooms. Earth cannot surrender its freedom. While leaders debate, the people outside continue living, but their eyes carry worry. They watch the sky at night, imagining huge alien ships drifting closer with each passing hour. Some imagine the delegations coming with glowing uniforms and strange voices. Others wonder if the aliens feel anything at all. Do they feel guilt, regret, or do they truly believe they are doing something justified? On the third day after the decree, humanity receives another message. This one is short, direct, and colder than the first. The alien delegation announces that they will land soon. They request Earth's representatives to gather at a fixed location for what they call the formal compliance ceremony. Those words alone make humans everywhere feel sick. A ceremony for losing freedom? A ceremony for becoming property? Around the world, radios, televisions, and online platforms explode with discussion. People want to know what Earth will do. Some fear the worst. Others hope for a miracle. The silence from Earth's governments worries them, but it also sparks something stronger: unity. People start talking to each other again, not out of fear, but out of determination. In crowded markets, quiet villages, big cities, and small towns, humans begin to feel connected in a way they haven't felt in years. And then, finally, the alien ship arrives, that it enters orbit without any warning. The sky ripples for a moment as the ship pushes through Earth's atmosphere, leaving a glowing trail behind it. People everywhere stop what they are doing. Cars slow down or pull over. Children point toward the sky. Workers step out of offices. The ship moves across the clouds like a silver moon made of metal, humming quietly as it descends toward the meeting site. Human security forces wait near the landing zone. Their faces are serious, but their hearts beat fast. None of them have seen an alien this close before. They are trained for this moment, yet no training can prepare someone to face a being from another world that believes it owns you. As the alien ship lands, the ground vibrates softly. A long curved door opens and a bridge extends outward like a metal tongue. The aliens appear tall, thin, and wrapped in patterned suits that shimmer slightly in the sunlight. Their movements are smooth and measured, as if they expect the entire world to watch them with awe. Instead, they are greeted by silence. Earth's representatives step forward. They are not trembling, nor do they bow. They stand straight, with steady eyes, as if their fear has been replaced by something stronger. The lead delegate approaches them and announces, without any emotion, that the transition process will now begin. They speak as though reading instructions from a manual. They explain how humans will be assigned to categories, how resources will be distributed, how Earth will be supervised. That they speak as if Earth has already agreed. That is when one human representative steps forward and delivers the response that will echo through history. The words are simple, firm, and surprisingly calm. You leave. Right now. No threats. No shouting. No long speeches. Just 4 words that strike harder than any weapon. The alien delegation freezes. Their expressions shift slightly, first confusion, then disbelief. They repeat their instructions, believing humans must have misunderstood the decree. But the humans repeat the same 4 words again, louder this time, stronger this time. You leave. Right now. The aliens exchange glances. They do not understand why humans would refuse. They believe their decision is final. So they warn Earth that rejecting the decree will result in enforcement action. They claim they have the authority of the entire galaxy behind them. They insist humans cannot resist, but the humans do not change their expression. They do not step back. They do not apologize. Something in their eyes makes the aliens uneasy. A quiet determination that feels strange, even alarming. Then something unexpected happens. The alien delegates request access to Earth systems so they can begin the process. But the systems do not open. Every signal they send is rejected. Every attempt to activate their tools fails. Earth's networks have been sealed. Earth has locked itself completely. For a moment, the aliens simply stand there, unsure what to do. They request entry again. Nothing happens. Within an hour, communication between the aliens and their main fleet suddenly cuts off. Their devices stop responding. Their equipment shuts down. Their data links vanish. The delegation begins to panic quietly. They attempt to leave the landing zone, but human security steps in, not with weapons drawn, but with a silent wall of bodies refusing to move. That is when the aliens finally understand. Earth has not been silent out of fear. Earth has been silent out of preparation. The delegation tries one last attempt to assert control. They demand access to Earth's command systems. They warn that resistance will bring consequences. They insist that humans cannot possibly stand against the galaxy, but they never get a chance to finish their sentence. The delegation disappears, not with violence, not with any dramatic action. They simply vanish from the landing zone, removed, captured, or displaced by a method the galaxy has never seen before. One moment they stand there arguing. The next moment they are gone, leaving behind only the sound of the wind blowing across an empty field. The world holds its breath again. But this time, the feeling is different. It is no longer fear. It is something sharper, something rising, something alive. People across Earth begin to realize that their leaders have been planning something far beyond what the galaxy expected. The galaxy receives no reply. Their delegation never returns. Their signals go unanswered. Their ships receive only silence from the planet that was supposed to surrender, and that silence, once again, feels dangerous. As night falls, Earth's skies remain calm. The stars shine normally. But somewhere deep within Earth's hidden systems, something enormous has begun to move. The galaxy wanted obedience. Earth chose its moment to answer. And now the universe is about to learn what that silence really means. A strange and unsettling silence spreading across the galaxy. The alien delegation that landed on Earth has not returned. Their ship, still parked at the meeting zone, sits empty and untouched. Their communication devices are dead. Their tracking signals show nothing. It is as if the delegates simply stepped out of reality and vanished into thin air. The species that sent them start to panic. They try to contact Earth again and again, but every transmission bounces back like it hit an invisible wall. Some of them think Earth is ignoring them. Others think Earth is hiding something. But a few of the older species, the ones who study patterns and remember ancient events, feel something heavier. They whisper quietly among themselves, saying the same fear. Humans are preparing for something. But none of them know what that something is. In a distant sector of the galaxy, a massive war fleet receives orders to move toward Earth. Dozens of species contribute ships. The idea is simple. They believe if humans see overwhelming force, they will finally obey. The fleet travels through deep space like a dark shadow stretching across the stars. Every ship is armed, powered, and ready. The commanders think this will be an easy show of strength. But as they get closer to Earth's region of space, strange things start happening. First, one ship loses navigation. Their systems show the wrong coordinates for a split second. The commander thinks it's a glitch. Then another ship's sensors go blind for a moment. Then a third ship reports seeing something on radar. For 1 second a shape, huge, cold, silent, but it disappears instantly. The fleet gets uneasy. These ships have some of the best technology in the galaxy. Nothing should be able to approach them without being detected. Nothing should disrupt their systems. Yet something is doing exactly that. The fleet commander orders everyone to stay alert. They don't know it, but humanity has already started watching them. Back on Earth, the world looks calm from the outside. Cities glow at night. People move through streets. Conversations continue in cafes and on sidewalks. It all looks normal. But beneath this normal world lies another layer, a hidden layer that no alien has ever seen. Deep underground, in silent bunkers built long before anyone even imagined alien contact, something begins to wake up. Inside these bunkers are machines that humans never revealed to the galaxy. Machines humans built in secret, quietly, methodically, over decades. Machines operating on principles aliens believe humans are centuries away from understanding. They were never meant to be used. They were meant only for defense, for the moment Earth might face a threat so big that survival depended on more than diplomacy. That moment has now arrived. Humans walk the halls of these bunkers with expressions that are calm but focused. They check screens, adjust systems, whisper to each other, and prepare for something they hope never needed to happen. The atmosphere is heavy, but not hopeless. People know that once they activate these systems, there is no turning back. But they also know there is no choice. Not after the galaxy tried to take their freedom. Not after the alien delegation came expecting obedience. The command to activate Earth's hidden systems spreads quietly. In cities, power flickers for a moment as energy is redirected. Satellites in orbit turn slightly, aligning themselves with cold precision. Oceans ripple as something deep underwater begins to move. In deserts, huge structures hidden beneath the sand begin to hum softly. For years, these secrets waited patiently. Now they rise, Meanwhile, the alien fleet enters the edge of the solar system. They see planets, moons, and belts of asteroids. They scan everything, expecting to see Earth's defenses. But the readings show nothing unusual. Earth looks unprotected, unprepared, and weak. The commanders relax a little. They think maybe humans were just bluffing. Maybe the delegation vanished because of an internal conflict. Maybe humans are confused. Maybe they will surrender once they see hundreds of warships surrounding their planet Dot, so the fleet continues forward. But they do not see the silent shadows trailing behind them. They do not hear the faint pulses moving through the emptiness. They do not sense the gravity ripples forming near Earth. What the galaxy never understood is that humans are unpredictable, not because they are chaotic, but because they are creative. Where other species rely on age and tradition, humans rely on imagination. Humans invent solutions that look impossible until they suddenly exist. That is what the galaxy failed to consider. When the fleet reaches Earth's orbit, they expect to see fear, panic, and desperation. Instead, Earth's skies look calm, almost peaceful. The planet sits quietly like a blue jewel in the black ocean of space. The fleet sends a message demanding surrender. They expect an answer in seconds. But the message returns with only a short reply: "Do not approach." The commander laughs. He thinks humans are trying to threaten them. But as the fleet begins to move closer, something invisible touches the outermost ship. Its hull ripples for a second, as if space itself bent. The ship disappears. No explosion. No sound. It is just gone. The fleet freezes. They try to contact the missing ship. Nothing. They check the coordinates. Nothing. They do not understand what just happened. Only one thing is clear. The ship is not coming back. Before anyone can react, another ship vanishes. Then another. The fleet begins sending emergency calls, but their signals bounce back in distorted waves. Something around Earth is bending space, bending energy, bending the laws they depend on. The commander panics. He orders the fleet to retreat, but their engines stop responding. Something is wrapped around them, silent, invisible, impossible to escape. The fleet drifts helplessly above the blue planet that they thought was weak. On Earth, in the deep underground command room, humans watch the fleet through screens. No one cheers. No one smiles. This isn't a victory to celebrate. This is survival. This is the moment when Earth does what it must. A senior human official speaks quietly, almost sadly. We warned them not to approach. The hidden human technology activates fully. The space around Earth twists, forming something like a shimmering curtain, but invisible to the naked eye. This curtain is not a weapon of destruction. It is something far smarter. It bends the reality around anything that tries to enter it. The alien ships cannot escape because the space they depend on simply doesn't respond the way they expect. One by one, the fleet dissolves, not killed, not harmed, just displaced. Removed from Earth's spacetime, sent to a place the galaxy cannot track. Earth has not destroyed them. Earth has simply erased their threat. Across the galaxy, chaos erupts. Species that supported Earth's enslavement demand answers. They try to send more ships, but none of them reach Earth. They try to scan the planet, but their devices show only static. They try to threaten Earth, but the messages never arrive. Everything they do hits a wall of silence. A dangerous silence. That is when some of the oldest species realize something horrifying. Humans were never less advanced. Humans were simply hiding how advanced they really are. The galaxy thought humans were weak because humans acted like they belonged at the bottom of the ladder. But now the truth is clear: humans did not show their full strength because they hoped the galaxy would be peaceful. They hoped cooperation would be enough. They hoped understanding would be possible. But the galaxy chose chains. And now humanity chooses something else. This is only the beginning. Earth has not attacked. Earth has not declared war. Earth has only defended itself. But something is waking in the human world. Something powerful. Something ancient in spirit, but new in creation. Something the galaxy has never seen before. Earth's hidden arsenal is now fully awake. And the universe is about to learn what humanity does when someone tries to take its freedom. The galaxy in a state of shock. Moments ago, hundreds of warships gathered around Earth, confident they could force humans to obey. Now those ships are gone silent, unreachable, missing as if they never existed. No explosion was detected. No debris floats in space. The fleet simply vanished, leaving every species in the galaxy confused and terrified. Those who once laughed at humans now sit in their grand halls whispering in fear. Some ask if Earth discovered new technology. Some wonder if humans made a deal with an unknown power. Others fear the worst possibility, that Earth built something on its own that can erase entire fleets without harming a single person. The galaxy holds emergency meetings. Leaders shout at each other. Screens flicker with warnings. Attempts to scan Earth return only distorted noise. Attempts to reach the missing fleet return nothing. The galaxy has never faced silence like this before. It feels heavy, like a storm waiting just beyond sight. Soon, a decision is made. A coalition of major species picks a strategy. They will not send another fleet. They will secure their own borders. They reinforce their stations. They hide their important leaders underground. They prepare for the possibility that humans might retaliate. But Earth does not move. At least, not at first. Earth remains strangely quiet. Cities glow normally. People walk streets as if nothing happened. But beneath that calm surface, something enormous shifts. Deep under oceans, giant structures move like slow giants waking from sleep. On the far side of the moon, hidden towers begin to glow. In distant deserts, platforms rise silently at night, their sides marked only by simple symbols made long ago by human hands. Inside command centers, humans speak softly, choosing their next steps with great care. The question is not whether they should respond. The question is how to respond without harming innocent people. The galaxy attacked humans, yes, but civilians across those worlds are ordinary beings who had no say in the vote for Earth's enslavement. Humans want justice, not blind destruction. This difference becomes important in everything they do next. After long discussions, Earth sends a coded pulse through space. It is not a message in any known language. It is more like a signal that travels silently, sliding past defenses the galaxy believes are unbreakable. The pulse reaches the star systems of every species that voted for Earth's enslavement. It does nothing harmful, but it unlocks hidden doors in their systems, revealing data they never thought Earth could access. Suddenly, control centers across the galaxy flicker. Their screens flash with warnings they cannot understand. They try to shut down their systems, but everything keeps reactivating on its own. Earth is not attacking them physically. Earth is showing them how deeply it understands their technology. The galaxy assumed humans were too primitive to comprehend. The realization spreads like fire. Humanity has been studying them for a long time. While galaxy leaders panic, Earth's true response begins, not with explosions, not with invasions, not with chaos. Earth moves with precision. High above Earth, an enormous shape becomes visible for the first time. Humans have hidden it behind cloaking fields for years. It looks like a long silver arc, stretching across the sky like a silent guardian. It is not a weapon in the traditional sense. It is something more advanced, something capable of bending space, energy, and distance. The arc rises gently into the blackness of space. It joins several other shapes rising from different parts of Earth. Together, they form a network, a shield, a lens, and a path all in one. When activated, this network can send human ships across the galaxy instantly. No jumps, no delays. Just direct travel through folded space. The galaxy believed humans could barely travel between nearby stars. Now they watch, stunned, as Earth creates new pathways through reality. From these pathways, human ships begin to appear. But these are not warships filled with massive guns or missiles. These ships move silently like shadows. They carry tools, scanners, and devices designed for one purpose: disabling the war capabilities of the species that tried to enslave Earth. Human ships enter enemy territories without firing a single shot. They move through shields like ghosts. They approach military stations, and the stations shut down. They pass near weapon platforms, and the platforms deactivate. They hover near fleet yards, and the massive energies powering those yards simply fade away. In every system where leaders voted for Earth's enslavement, the same thing happens. All offensive technology goes dark. Military commanders try to restart their systems. Nothing responds. Engineers shout orders. Workers rush through hallways trying to restore power. But nothing they do works. It feels as if their technology has turned into empty shells. Galaxy watches helplessly as their strongest defenses fall apart without a single human firing a weapon. But what shocks them even more is that humans do not touch civilian systems. Light stays on in homes. Hospitals continue running. Transit systems keep moving. Communication networks stay alive. Human ships disable only the systems used for war. Every species that supported Earth's enslavement finally understands the message. We are not here to destroy you. We are here to stop those who tried to control us. On some planets, ordinary citizens stand outside their homes and look up at the sky as a human ship passes silently above them. They expect a threat, but none comes. Instead, the ships move gently, scanning only the military structures. Civilians watch with a mix of fear and wonder. Some even feel grateful that humans choose a path that avoids hurting ordinary people. In large galactic capitals, leaders rush into deep bunkers. They try to send messages to Earth begging for negotiation. But their signals cannot break through Earth's shield. Instead, they receive a single, simple response, one line of text on their screens: end your control over others. The leaders know this is only part of the message. Humans will send the rest when the time is right. Meanwhile, Earth continues its quiet, precise campaign. Human ships reach the central military hubs of the strongest species. They do not destroy anything. Instead, they release a pulse that gently disassembles the energy cores powering those bases. The cores fade, turning cold. Every weapon goes silent. Every war machine loses its purpose. Some species try to resist by launching backup fleets. But the moment their ships leave orbit, they freeze in place. Engines stop. Controls die. The ships drift helplessly until human vessels collect them safely and set them down in empty space far from danger. Not harmed, just removed from the conflict. The galaxy finally realizes something crucial. Earth is not acting out of rage. Earth is acting out of duty. Humans want a universe where no species can enslave another. Not humans. Not aliens. No one. And so Earth continues, system by system, planet by planet, removing only the tools that leaders use to control, bully, and dominate others. In the final stage of this operation, Earth ships gather above the central meeting world where the enslavement vote occurred. That world is the heart of galactic politics. Its halls are filled with powerful leaders, influential figures, and old traditions that have existed for centuries. Human ships do not attack. Instead, they project a calm blue light across the sky, visible to everyone. The light carries a message, translated into every known language: so citizens across the planet can understand it clearly. No species has the right to enslave another. If you ever attempt it again, we will return. We do not seek control. We seek fairness. People on the planet stop in their tracks. Leaders stare at the message with wide eyes. Some feel relief. Some feel shame. Many feel fear. But the message is clear. It is not a threat. It is a vow. When the message ends, human ships slowly fade into the sky. They do not fire a shot. They do not force anyone to change. But their presence alone changes everything. The galaxy now understands there is a new power in the universe, one that protects freedom, not domination. Earth's retaliation ends quietly. There is no chaos, no destroyed cities, no broken worlds. But the galaxy will never forget what happened. Earth showed the universe that even when pushed to the edge, humans choose a path that protects the innocent and stops the guilty. The galaxy has seen Earth's strength, but more importantly, it has seen Earth's restraint. Now, a new era is about to begin. One built on respect. One built on fairness. One built on the memory of what Earth did when its freedom was threatened. When the long campaign finally ended, the galaxy felt strangely quiet. It was not the silence of destruction, but the silence that comes after a powerful storm, passes and leaves everyone staring at the sky, wondering what comes next. Many worlds that once joined the vote against Earth now found themselves unsure of how to speak, or even think about what had happened. They had expected Earth to become weaker, smaller, maybe even frightened. Instead, they had witnessed something no one had imagined, humanity stepping forward with strength they had hidden for years, across different systems. Governments that once held great influence gathered for emergency sessions. Representatives sat in large halls with tired faces and trembling hands, discussing not how to punish Earth, but how to make sure they never repeated their mistake again. For many of them, the shock still ran deep. They remembered how confident they had been when they approved the decree that forced Earth into servitude. They remembered how easily they had believed the rumors about humans being unstable, emotional, and poor at diplomacy. Now, those same governments could only sit in silence, knowing they had pushed humanity into a corner. On Earth, things looked very different. Cities that had once dimmed their lights in preparation for attack lit up again. People walked through streets feeling a mixture of pride and exhaustion. They had been united in a way they had not been for decades, and that unity had carried them through one of the most difficult turning points in their history. No one celebrated loudly, because every person understood what was at stake. Even though humanity had defended itself successfully, everyone knew the galaxy still watched with fear in their eyes. The councils on Earth gathered again in the same room, where they had first received the enslavement decree. This time, the mood was not tense, it was steady. The leaders were not thinking about revenge anymore. They were thinking about what kind of future they wanted for the next generation. One of the senior voices in the room explained that the goal had never been to destroy others, but to ensure that no one would ever try to take away humanity's freedom again. The others agreed, understanding that the galaxy needed a new rule, one that made such an action impossible. Within days, Earth broadcast a message across every known channel. It was short and delivered in calm words, but it reached every world that had once voted against them. The message said that no species had the right to enslave another, and that from this moment forward, any attempt to do so would be stopped immediately. It was not a threat. It was a law, a simple line that would reshape how the galaxy behaved. The reaction was immediate. Across the stars, governments responded with acceptance. No one questioned the rule. No one attempted to argue. After witnessing Earth's determination and power, the idea of challenging them seemed unimaginable. Even those who still disliked humanity understood that the rule was fair. They also realized that the old system had been flawed for a long time. Too many powerful species had used their influence to harm weaker civilizations. The attempt to enslave Earth had only made that corruption visible to everyone. Many worlds even began to rethink their own internal policies. Some species that had long suffered under strict or unfair leadership finally found the courage to speak up, using Earth's stance as an example. If a planet as diverse and chaotic as Earth could stand together to defend its freedom, then maybe others could do the same. Small rebellions ignited across a few distant systems, not violent ones, but organized movements demanding fair treatment. Surprisingly, many of those ruling forces gave in peacefully, knowing the galaxy had changed and they could no longer behave as they once had done in the center of all this. Earth chose not to expand its territory or impose demands. Instead, humanity withdrew most of its fleets back to its home system. The massive ships that had shocked galactic observers returned to their hangars. Some were guided into deep storage, while others remained ready for defense. But they did not fly around as symbols of dominance. Earth had made its point, and now it wanted to rebuild its relationships carefully. At a pace that felt right, people on Earth resumed their daily lives, but with a deeper understanding of their place in the universe. They had seen how close their world had come to losing its freedom. That fear had changed them, making them more thoughtful and more aware of how their actions could influence others. Schools began teaching students about the events, not with anger, but with lessons about unity, responsibility, and the importance of protecting rights for all species. A few months later, Earth received an unexpected message from a group of species that had voted against them. The message was humble, almost unsure. They asked for a meeting, not to negotiate deals or alliances, but simply to express regret. The Council on Earth agreed to the meeting. When the groups finally spoke, there were no signs of hostility. The visitors admitted that they had followed the vote without thinking deeply about the consequences. They had believed old stories, old fears, and old assumptions about humans. The Earth representatives listened patiently and responded with honesty. They explained that the past could not be erased, but the future did not need to repeat the mistakes of old. The discussion ended with a simple handshake ceremony, a symbolic gesture showing that both sides were ready to move forward. Slowly, over the years, new forms of cooperation began taking shape. Earth joined scientific councils, trade networks, and cultural programs, but this time as an equal, not a target. Other species approached humans not with caution, but with curiosity. They wanted to understand how a single planet with so many different languages, beliefs, and histories could unite so strongly when threatened. Humans would smile and say that their strength came from their differences, not in spite of them. But even as the galaxy softened, one thing never changed. Everyone remembered the moment humanity stood up and refused to be chained. The memories of Earth's silent preparation, their sudden counterattack, and their firm but controlled response stayed in the minds of every leader and every citizen across different systems. It became a story told in schools, a warning passed between rulers, and a reminder that even the smallest planet should never be underestimated. Years later, some historians called the event the Turning Point Era. They explained that before this moment, power in the galaxy was decided mainly by tradition and hierarchy. After Earth's response, everything shifted toward fairness and caution. No species wanted to risk pushing others into desperation again. The lesson had been too clear, too unforgettable. As time passed, Earth continued to grow, not in size, but in influence. Not through force, but through trust. Their rule against enslavement became one of the most widely accepted galactic laws, shaping future generations who no longer understood why the old system ever existed. Even the species that once feared Earth began to see humanity differently. They noticed how humans built friendships easily, how quickly they forgave, and how curious they remained about the universe. Slowly, the fear changed into respect, and respect grew into something closer to partnership. On quiet nights, families on distant planets would look up at their skies, thinking about the blue world that had once stood alone against everyone. They would tell their children the story, how a planet nearly taken in chains rose up, not to destroy, but to defend. They would explain how that single act forced the galaxy to rebuild itself into something safer, something kinder, and on Earth, people would look at the stars with a calm heart. They no longer watched the sky with fear or suspicion. Instead, they saw potential, opportunity, and the promise of peaceful cooperation. They understood that their actions had shaped not just their own world, but thousands of others. It was a responsibility they carried carefully. Humanity moved forward not as conquerors, not as victims, but as a firm reminder of what could happen when freedom was threatened. And the galaxy never forgot the final message. Earth had sent long ago a message simple yet powerful enough to rewrite history. Never again would anyone dare try to place chains on Earth, because the memory of that moment lived forever, carried across the stars like a quiet flame that never went out.